Where? Alabama. We had a pretty good night in South Carolina last night. We had a pretty good night. And it's interesting, you know, as I mentioned in my speech, when we won Iowa, everybody was excited, but there were a lot of people who said, oh, that's a fluke. You know, Iowa's a caucus state. Iowa's unique. Iowa's different. And so the thinking was that maybe we could not duplicate what we had done. And then came New Hampshire, and we did unbelievably well in New Hampshire, but Senator Clinton ran a good race in New Hampshire, so people were saying, maybe something's going on here. And then we went to Nevada, and we basically split with Senator Clinton. She won the popular vote, we won the delegates, we won more counties. And so now it was basically even, but still people were skeptical, saying, we're not sure that this grassroots effort can sustain itself. And then came South Carolina. And all the pundits and all the press said, oh, South Carolina, it is different. The South is the South. It's inexorably divided. There's no chance that Obama's message of unity, of coming together, can work. If you get black votes, then you can't get white votes. If you get white votes, you can't get black votes. The notion was that we were locked in our past, and we could not create a different and better future for America. And then last night came. And people from every walk of life stood up and they said, yes, we can. The time for change has come. We are going to write a new chapter in the South. We're going to write a new chapter in American history. We don't want to play that old game anymore. We don't want to play that old game. That game that has held us back. That game that says somehow if you've got a black child in a bad school and a white child in a bad school, that somehow those are two different situations. They're the same situation, and we need to get black and white children working together with their parents to create good schools for every child. That's what America's about. That spirit of unity, that spirit of change asserted itself. And it was a vindication for me because, you know, it has now been a year since I announced that I was running for President of the United States of America. I stood on the steps of the old state capitol in Springfield, Illinois. The building where Abraham Lincoln served for many years before he became president, the city where I served as a state legislator before I went to the United States Senate. And when I announced, some people said to me, why are you doing it this time? Why this time? And I had to explain to them, I was not running because I thought that somehow it was owed to me. That I thought it was my turn. I wasn't running because of some long-held ambitions. I know people have been looking through my kindergarten papers, but that's not why I decided to run. I decided to run because of what Dr. King called the fierce urgency of now. The fierce urgency of now. Because I believe there's such a thing as being too late. And that hour is almost upon us. We are at a defining moment in our history. Our nation is at war. our planet is in peril. And the dream that so many generations fought for feels like it's slowly slipping away. You see it in your own lives, in your community. People are working harder just to get by. Folks have never paid more for health care, never paid more for gas, never paid more for college. It's harder to save, it's harder to retire. And this was before the latest economic crisis. And now people are worrying about losing their homes because they were lured into these subprime lending situations. Deceptive practices and predatory lending. People are maxed out on their credit cards and they're not sure whether or not they're going to be able to stave off bankruptcy. People are having a tough time all across the country and all across Alabama. And so we cannot wait. We cannot wait to fix the broken healthcare system. We cannot wait to fix our schools. We cannot wait to bring an end to global warming. We cannot wait to create good jobs with good benefits. We cannot wait to bring this war in Iraq to a close and bring our troops home. We cannot wait. The time for change is now. The size of our challenges have outstripped the capacity of a broken and divided politics to solve. And so, what I was determined to find out is whether the American people were hungry enough for something new. See, I believe that the American people want a politics that isn't based on tearing each other down, but on lifting the country up. I ran because I believe that the American people, they don't want ideology. They don't want constant argumentation. What they want is practicality and common sense. They don't want PR and spin. They want honesty and truth out of their leadership in Washington. And I decided to run because I was betting on you. Betting on you, the American people, because I believe the change in America doesn't happen from the top down. It happens from the bottom up. It happens because the American people say to themselves that we want something better. And I believe the American people are a decent people and a generous people, willing to work hard and sacrifice on behalf of future generations. And I figured if we could just draw our voices together, all people, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, young, old, north, south, east, west, urban, rural, everybody to challenge the special interests in Washington and to tone down the toxic rhetoric of our politics and to challenge ourselves to be better. Then I believe there was no problem we could not solve, and there was no challenge we could not fulfill. And let me say to you that a year later, that bet has paid off. My faith in the American people has been vindicated. We saw it in Iowa, we saw it in New Hampshire and Nevada, we saw it last night in South Carolina. We are seeing it right here today in Alabama.